On today's video, we're looking at the newest Mill Creek Ultraman Blu-ray, Ultraman Z Complete Series.
It's morphin' time!
Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome back to another Ultraman Blu-ray review. Today we're taking a look at the Ultraman Z Complete Series set. This was released on April 22nd, 2025, and is one of the first Ultraman series to be dubbed in the modern era. In fact, it was the first to be dubbed by the Okatron 5000 crew, which have been doing other dubs like Ultraman Blazar and Ultraman Arc. So this is a pretty cool set for that reason. The show also was the first to be broadcast globally on Ultraman's official YouTube channel, and has now become a yearly tradition where every Ultraman show airs on YouTube around the world at the same time in multiple subtitle languages, and that's pretty awesome. So it's a nice marker of kind of a new era. It's still part of the new generation Ultraman era, which we will, of course, show the Blu-rays of all together, but it is kind of a start of its own era in a way, while connecting back to some other series. So it's a nice set to get if you're trying to get into Ultraman, or a nice show to check out if you haven't experienced it before. So of course we're going to go through all the details of the contents, everything included, any issues that the discs may have, and if you enjoy these type of videos, please hit the like button and subscribe and the notification bell if you haven't already. Helps the channel out immensely. Really do appreciate that. So let's talk about the cover art. I think the cover art looks spectacular. You got Ultraman Z in his base form, then of course you have him in Alpha Edge, then you have Beta Smash and Gamma Future, so his main forms on the front here. The nice English version of the logo, of course it says Ultraman Complete Series. On the spine we got a shot of Ultraman Z with the Complete Series, and then Ultraman Z here. It is a 3-disc set, which is kind of interesting. There is no movie included, so they managed to put it all onto 3 discs, which is pretty cool. It also means there's nothing right here like there is on a bunch of the other sets. On the back, we got Ultraman Z Delta Rise Claw, we got Juglish Juggler returning from Ultraman Orb, and then we got Wyndham and King Joe Storage Custom, 2 of the robots. It does say includes all 25 episodes of the series and contains a free playable card from the Ultraman card game. One minor issue there we'll talk about in a moment. The interior cover has Ultraman Z as well as his mentor, Ultraman Zero. It's kind of how things tie in together in the series. And on the back, we got a shot of Ultraman Z Alpha Edge, along with Ultraman Geed Galaxy Future, since Geed returns in this series as well, and Ultraman Zero in his base form. So opening it up, there is a couple interesting things to note. First of all, there's a booklet, and there's no trading card. I do not know if this is my copy, or if this is a widespread thing, like when, I think it was Ultraman Ginga didn't include the booklets because they just missed it in printing. Not exactly sure. Let me know in the comments if your copy has a trading card or not. So on the discs here, disc 1 contains the first 9 episodes, and it has Ultraman Z Alpha Edge. Disc 2 is episodes 10 to 18 with Beta Smash. And then disc 3 is episodes 19 through 25, with a 3 episodes of recap. And those aren't advertised on the back of the packaging, but they are advertised here, and they are on the disc. We'll talk about that, of course, in the actual disc rundown. You'll also notice that instead of having a nice little, palette in the middle, it is 2 discs stacked on top of each other over here, and then 1 disc over here. Not my favorite style, but not the worst either. Just not my favorite. Nice shot of the 3 Ultramen together from that iconic episode in the series. So really, really nice. I do have to note, because this is a thing, this is the oils from the discs being manufactured. It's like a liquid part of it, and sometimes it doesn't get completely dry before it ends up in the case, and so you can see that it's got on the disc. Nice little microfiber cloth. Wipe that off, no problem. I'll clean this set up after I do the video. But yeah, so you got your 3 discs there. Here's your booklet. Similar style to the others where we see like a close-up of the color timer. So we got, of course, the Ultraman Z logo. And then down here, they're like, hey, access the Ultraman store on Amazon and get an Ultraman Z t-shirt. On the back, it advertises Ultraman Connection, which is a news hub, as well as still advertising the complete Showa Spine series there. Inside the booklet, we've got a lot of cool things. We've got little profiles on Ultraman Z. I do appreciate the pronunciation for those of us that have languages that would read that as Ultraman Z, is Ultraman Z. I do love that it has the Ultra Metals, and it shows which Ultra Metals form which forms. Like, that's a really cool detail for us nerds here. But it shows all the Ultras that appear in the series and the storage robots. And then, of course, you get your episode guide, which has the episode title, short description, director and writer credits. So it's got all of that included here. It doesn't mention the bonus recap episodes. There's also kind of villains listed here as well, giving some kind of details for some of the villains. And then a list of all the kaiju, as well as the fusion monsters that are created with the Ultra Metals, and it shows what Ultra Metals are used. So pretty awesome, really neat little booklet. Overall, the set's really good on presentation, and it looks really stellar. But let's take a look at the discs themselves and see how they are in full practice, because that is really what matters at the end of the day. How are the discs? I mean, the packaging looks nice. I will say, just like the Ultra Galaxy Fight set, slipcover just seems a little large for the case they ended up using. It just kind of slides really, really easy. But yeah, let's take a look at the discs themselves now. All right, here is the menu for Disc 1. We got Ultraman Z and Ultraman 0 back there. There's the list of episodes that are presented on Disc 1. Pretty stacked disc, all things considered, but there's definitely room for it. It looks like it's all in there. So we do have a setup menu. The setup menu allows you to select Japanese audio, or English subtitles on and off. We're going to start with Japanese audio and English subtitles on to check a couple things here. So let's get up to the first episode, Chant My Name. So right off the bat, we do get dialogue here from this crowd. The subtitles are presented in white text with a nice black backing to them, so you can see them quite well. I did double check. These are the same exact translations from the YouTube version of the series that was simulcast and is now still available on YouTube as time of recording. You can see the show with the exact same subtitles. So it's going to be those, which are pretty solid and no major complaints there. And just like on YouTube, the subtitles do cover the on-screen text. So like when the monster names appear, they do have a subtitle there. Now these are the same subtitle track as the regular subtitles, so you will see sometimes dialogue and the on-screen text will flip back really quick. That's just how it was when they did the translation before. It's totally an acceptable version of subtitling, and that's just something to keep in mind, but it does have the on-screen text and title cards translated. They even went so far as to add a little subtitle for Ultraman Z's logo, which is in the Japanese as presented here. So much like the YouTube broadcast, there is the Japanese text on the screen for the song lyrics, but you do get the English translation up at the top, which is really, really awesome. And any on-screen text in the show is the Japanese text that was originally presented, which, as you can see here, still actually includes English text. They started doing this, I think, with Zet and going forward, because this was like their first like global like simulcast show. They were putting like the on-screen credits in English and Japanese at the same time, which is pretty awesome. And then even on the sponsor card, it does have the text that's on screen, and it does put up 2 subtitles to translate the text on either side of the screen, which is super awesome. Now, in terms of whether or not this is a broadcast master or a Blu-ray master, I'm pretty confident it's the Blu-ray master. There's nothing like the, don't sit in front of the TV warning text on the screen for opening scenes. The video quality is crisp and clear. If it's a broadcast master, it's an insanely good broadcast master. I'm pretty sure it's the Blu-ray source from the Japanese Blu-ray. It looks really, really good. One of the best looking ones. We are, of course, in the modern era of Ultraman at this point with this release, so it kind of makes sense that it would look really crisp, but it looks stellar in pretty much every scene I've checked so far. So here on Disc 2, we have the same menu design, but we have episodes 10 through 18 listed. Of course, the setup menu is the same. Now, what I want to check is if when you turn the English subtitles off, like if you're just watching the English audio, which the subtitles, yes, are for the Japanese audio. They're not closed captioning for the English audio. Unfortunate, but not unexpected. Let's go check and see if we still get a title card subtitle. Okay, so unfortunately, the song lyrics, the title cards, and the signs of the on-screen text in the show all tied into the same subtitle track as the subtitles for the Japanese version, which means you're watching English dub and you don't have the subtitles turned on, which don't sync up to the English dub anyways. You're not going to have any of the on-screen text, and that's a bummer. That's usually why there are 2 separate tracks on a lot of releases. This is another unfortunate but not unexpected thing, but something to keep in mind if you're watching the English dub. You're not going to have any on-screen text translations because it's not burned into the video or provided as a secondary track. Like a lot of, some of the releases that you see in anime worlds will be like, with the English dub, it's like, oh, signs and songs only, and then it'll just have all the on-screen text translated. Sadly, we don't get a feature like that. Then again, this release is also like way less expensive than most standard anime releases. And then here we have Disc 3, same menu design, but you'll notice that we have not just episodes 19 through 25 finishing out the series, but we also have bonus recap episode 1, 2, and 3. So much like with the other sets we've been getting recently, like Ultraman Blazar, They did not advertise that it comes with the recap episodes. They're not in the booklet, but they are included on the discs, which is pretty nice because these recap episodes did air during the series. They're just like different kind of recaps. They're not like clip shows that have like a framing device within the narrative of the show. They're just here as like compilations of scenes to kind of catch you up on stuff and kind of pad out the runtime of the series as it's airing. Now, there is no Savenger fight or any of the Subaru Imagination spin-off series included. That's probably due to some kind of licensing thing. But otherwise, you do get all the episodes plus the bonus recaps, so pretty solid overall. So say you've been collecting your Ultraman Blu-rays quite well. You're wondering, where does Zet go in the new generation lineup? Well, it's pretty simple. It goes between Ultraman Taiga and Ultraman Blazar, because Blazar is the most recent show we've gotten, and Zet came right after Taiga. So once again, when it comes to the spine arts, this is also where I place Ultra Galaxy Fight, since it does take place prior to Taiga. This, or at least the first part of it does. This is kind of like a nice display. I will say that it is starting to look a little funny, because all this was really nice and consistent. Ignoring, if we pull the spin-offs out, let's just pull the spin-offs out for the sake of simplicity here. But ignoring the spin-offs, like, everything Ginga Darube was in that first Mill Creek Ultra batch. So it's just like everything says Blu-ray plus digital. You have your series portrait, you have your movie portrait, and then you have your logo. Ginga and Ginga S, kind of mixing it up a little bit just because it is a little bit different of a set. But then you got the Taiga, and for some reason the Taiga was missing the discount, the Mill Creek logo, and the Blu-ray. Then you get to Zet, and he's missing Blu-ray plus Blu-ray combo at the top because there's no combo. He doesn't come with a movie. And so you're also missing the movie banner. And then Blazar, Blazar matches Taiga, but then Taiga doesn't have this. And then, so it's just kind of funny because, yeah, I think it would have been nice if they just put Blu-ray up there just to kind of keep it a little more consistent. But it still looks pretty good overall on the shelf, all things considered. This is being done over like multiple years, and they're still staying mostly consistent, which I really do appreciate. They have the same formatting, the banner at the top, the logo in the middle, and then, yeah, the details up and down. Little different. It's the complete series versus the series, because, yeah, that's just a little bit different than the others. Overall, though, it looks pretty nice on a shelf, and yeah, I'll get over any minor differences. It's nothing super major to talk about. So overall, I do recommend this set. It's got all the episodes. It's got all of the, English language options. The subtitle thing's a little annoying, but not too unexpected. It's a good set. If you've been collecting the Ultraman Blu-rays, definitely worth a pickup, and especially at the price that it goes for, that like the $20 to $25 range, you really can't get a better deal in this day and age with Blu-rays. As the prices of things go up, it's nice to see that the Mill Creek prices stay down, and I think that the quality you get for that price is pretty stellar, honestly. It's a good value. And I'm definitely looking forward to the more Ultraman Blu-rays that are coming out. Ultraman Trigger is confirmed for May. We're supposed to get Decker in June, and then the Ultraman USA movie in July. So plenty of Ultraman Blu-rays coming up, and I'm going to be doing reviews on all of them, so be sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss out on a single upload on this channel. Also, be sure to hit the comments and let me know any thoughts, questions, concerns. Hit the like button while you're down there. Really do appreciate that. Helps the channel out a whole lot. If you want to keep up with the videos on the channel and the YouTube notifications aren't working for you, check our Discord server. We always shout out when a new video gets posted. Plus, we have a great community down there. We discuss all kinds of things from Blu-rays to toys to comics and more. So come join, hang out, and enjoy. If you'd like to help support the channel directly to keep the channel rolling, you can join as a channel member, and it's got perks like early access to videos, member-exclusive live streams, and more. Let's give a special shout-out to our channel members. Special shout-out to all of our channel members, including Captain Tier, Spin-54, Toma K, Masterbin95, Forever1000, Super Shaddix Boom, Mr. Smelly Potato, Silverbricks, Travis's Media Madness, Gokai Gamer, Josh Frisch, Muhammad Faiz Daniel, Brinton Yadden, Stephen Hinojosa, Jamie's World, Cameron Meter, and Taylor Black. Thank you all for your support, both channel members and viewers alike. If you so wish, I'm on social media at Blue Sky and on Discord at Soundout12. You can find me in our server pretty easily. You can also find my wonderful graphic designer on social media and Discord at DarkClaw643. Plus, you can find Hero Club at hero-club.com for Tokusatsu interviews and more. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.